Hello everybody, and welcome back to Nerdy Miniatures. And in today's video, we paint my Spite Revenants, thus completing my Sylvaneth Spearhead in my Cherry Blossom theme. I will jump between the figures, but this will be quite a short video in comparison to some of my others, but regardless, if you want to see certain steps, be sure to look at the timestamps. So, without further ado, let's get into the video. So to begin, I sprayed all 5 of my Spite Revenants with a coat of grey sear spray paint, before moving on to the bark that covered part of the Spite's bodies. For this, I used Dryad Bark. Once that dried, I layered them with Rakarth Flesh and then Elysian Green. Each figure had varying levels of colour, some darker, some lighter, to make each one unique. Once that dried down and I had some natural lighting, aka it was the following day, I began painting the bodies. Using the colour Screamer Pink, I swept the colour over the bodies using a small brush to try and get into all the gaps and small spaces. Moving on to the leaves, I used the colour Doomfire Magenta. I lightly covered the back and front of each leaf, making sure they were fully covered before leaving them to dry. Now moving on to the part that I've done consistently throughout my entire build, the green highlights to the eyes, spirals and scars on the figure, and I did this using the shade Moot Green. To add some dimension, I went in with Fulgrim Pink and stippled it over the ghostly forms of the figure before letting them dry. Attached to the branches are little hands and jewels, so I discover each one with Retributor armour, to show that even limbs are treated as decorative ornaments to these ghostly warriors. And that was it for the figures. Pretty self-explanatory, they're very simple, but it was time to move on to the bases. So just like I did with all my other figures, using some UV resin, I attached cherry blossoms to the figures before doing the same to the bases. Before I did the bases, I laid out a thin layer of Stirland Mud and left it to dry. I then went in with a combination of UV resin and the pollen, as well as grass and gravel, and some PVA glue to stick it to the bases. And that is it. That is my Spite Revenants complete and my entire spearhead painted in my cherry blossom theme. This is a much shorter video, but again, these figures are really simplistic to do in comparison to everything else, so they didn't take me that much time at all. In Saturday's video, I'll be doing a full showcase of my army and talking about my experience from building the figures to painting the army, ready for when it comes time to battle them in just a few weeks' time. Down in the description below, you will find 2 links. The first to Mr. Nerd's channel, so if you enjoy MMOs and action RPGs, then I recommend giving that a watch. If you enjoy fantasy lore, then I might recommend taking a look at my channel, where I cover topics like Tolkien, Game of Thrones, Warhammer, and The Witcher. Anyway, that'll be it from me today. I hope you have a wonderful day or night, wherever you are in the world. And as always, peace out.